right. A little bit of impact. My back hurts, guys. I'm sorry. If I twinge or if I go ow, it's because my back got messed up due to the fact that I was waiting in the street for 4 hours to get something to clean. Ow. This thing. I decided to buy one of these. It's old, but it does work. And I thought, you know what? I'm being nostalgic. I wanted to buy one of them. It wasn't super expensive. It was under $100. And I waited 4 hours to get nothing. Now I got my money back, but my back's messed up and I'm angry. But let's get to this TNA Impact. And I got to tell you, it wasn't bad. And this is weird, guys. Let's make this very clear. This is very weird. We know about the deal with the 1.5 to 1.6 billion for WWE now going to be streaming their pay-per-views and any extra shows they got on ESPN. We know that TNA is coming up with a deal with A&E and the CW to start streaming on their service with possible another streaming service. I think it's just two, but it's a possible another streaming service. And they're basically being used by WWE to mess with AEW. But if you look at AEW and Dynamite and Collision, they're not really producing great TV right now. They got fine wrestling, but stories suck. Then you look at WWE, legitimately looking at Raw, SmackDown, NXT. I don't know about Speed, and I definitely don't know about Evolve. I don't know if their stories are good because I haven't watched them, so I don't know. But you look at NXT, the stories are kind of messed up. Even though they do somewhat good stories, they're now messed up. Raw's stories are not great. SmackDown stories are not great. But the only wrestling promotion that is being seen is the one that's being used, and they're producing better stories than AEW and WWE with all its brands. And I'm not even saying that TNA stories are great. They're good stories. They're creative stories. Yes, some of them rehash stories as well. But you got this better than Raw, than SmackDown, than NXT, than Dynamite, and Collision. What the fuck is going on here? And I'm not even saying that, again, TNA stories on Impact are not perfect. They're not great, but guess what? They're one-on-one booking. That's what Shawn Michaels was doing until Triple H basically stuck his nose in it. And unlike JD and Alex, who just want the old NXT back, which they're never going to get because Triple H, one, doesn't really care about doing the old stories anymore, and two, he can't do them anymore due to the fact that Silver Lake owns the company now, not Vince, not Ari, Silver Lake. And they don't care about storytelling, they care about money. And they want to use pro wrestling instead of producing pro wrestling, like I said in my Gump Report. So I'm shocked that we are getting better stories on TNA than we should be getting on Raw, on SmackDown, on NXT, on Dynamite or Collision. I am like, really, what the hell is this? But let's start. Not going to talk about what happened with Trick, but let's look at the gauntlet. We get a number one contendership gauntlet match. It's supposed to be for Marsha. Well, not Marsha, well. Technically, we are going to see maybe Marsha or a Ash of Elegance is going to possibly win if JC doesn't drop it, which I don't believe she will. She'll probably hold until Bound for Glory. I'm saying it now, before Victory Road. I just don't see her dropping it until Bound for Glory. I'm going to say it now. It's not the point if it should happen. It's going to happen. If they drop it at Victory Road, it's dumb. It just makes no sense. So I just don't see her dropping it right now. But we do get a gauntlet. Xia Brookside first starts with Killer Kelly. And I gotta say this about Xia. This is the first time that we get to see personality from Xia Brookside. Now, she's shown some level of personality, but when she was up against Killer Kelly, she was being very flamboyant, very attitudey. I think this is the most personality I've ever seen her do. And she won against a Killer Kelly, which I'm not sure what they're going to do with her. Then she went up against Dani Luna. And I've been questioning, what are they going to do with Dani Luna and Jody Threat? Are they going to turn Jody Threat heel? Are they going to turn Dani Luna heel? I didn't know which one, but it was obvious that's where they were going to go when it came to them dealing with Victoria Crawford. So you see Dani Luna having the match, which was a good match. And I know people say, well, Indy can't wrestle. Please. She can wrestle. Does she have amazing personality? No. But it doesn't mean she can't wrestle and she doesn't have okay to decent personality. You just don't like her. And there's nothing wrong with that. Just say, look, I don't really like Indy. I just don't like her personality and I don't like her wrestling. But you can't say she can't wrestle because she can't. But the match was fine. Luna loses. And then after Indy tries to help her up, she lays out Indy. But then we get Jody Threat coming out. And Jody's like, what the hell are you doing? And Dani said, this is for you. And it's like, what? That's what Jody gives. And she jumps into the ring because she has to have the match. And then Dani Luna tries to get into the ring and tries to hit Indy with a chair. And Jody's trying to say, no, what are you doing? And she's all right. Drops the chair and lays out Jody Threat, which by law, due to the fact that she's against a Jody Threat, it's on behalf of Indy by law. So now Jody wins the match. So that's it. Now I know I'm skipping over Rosemary, but Rosemary was really nothing there. And understand, I'm not even against Rosemary. I still love Rosemary, but as a gatekeeper, they really haven't developed it yet. So the most she's done is just one match where she's supposedly the gatekeeper, and that was it. So I just don't see much for a Rosemary at this moment unless they really do something special with her. But now, Jody, who was in the back with Santino, talking to him, saying, look, I don't want this win. Give it to Indy because I didn't win it. And guess who shows up? Dan Luna says, what are you doing? Stop screwing around and just take what I gave you. And she said, why'd you do it? You taking away, you gave me this win. You hit me in the face. Why? Because I haven't gotten what I deserve. And she walks away. I'm going to tell you this. This is the most interesting Dani Luna has been. Okay? I'm not going to tell you that Dani has been a barricade. Well, when she was part of Subculture, I believe that's the name of the team she was with, she was interesting with them. When she joined TNA, Impact Wrestling, I really felt that she was underutilized and that she felt like a very underdeveloped Jordynne Grace, because that is Dani Luna. Dani Luna is what Jordynne Grace was in 2017 to 18. That is what she was. So this is the first true step of Dani Luna breaking out of that mold of a Jordynne Grace model. That's what she is. And I'm actually very interested in seeing what's going on. Next, the second match. Kaz versus Jake something, which is stemmed off of what happened with the International Championship. And now the situation is, I didn't expect Kaz to win here. But I didn't know how he could win unless he cheated. Because that's what I felt. He was not going to win clean. He had to cheat, which he did. He pulled off the middle turnbuckle, and that was used to stun Jake something so he could win. So that is not surprising. But the big question is, what is Kaz going to do here? How are they going to develop Kaz? I don't know. And that's if they do develop him. They should. 6-man tag. Order 4 versus the System and Matt Cardona. What do I feel about this match? The question is, who is the dominant faction? Is it Order 4? Is it the System? Now the question is going to be, for me personally, how are they going to, if they still do it, Dark State going to be included into it? Because I'm being honest here, Dark State on NXT, it blows. I don't care about it. Dark State on TNA would work if they continue developing this story. I don't know if they will. I think they might be done with Dark State. But this is still a big question. But I want to say this. Seeing that Ali won, his team won, I'm like, of course they had to cheat. You see JDC coming out, helping out, and he does a helo off the top, not turnbuckle, but off the top post, on one of the top posts. That was a nice helo he did. You don't usually see JDC do it. So it looked good. But the question is, how they're going to develop the feud between the Order 4 and the system. How far they're going to go, and will one be disbanded? Will they reach a point where they're going to go to a story where someone's going to get disbanded? I think that's where it needs to go. Sooner or later, maybe a Bound for Glory, because we still got like 52 days counting yesterday, because this is pretty late. It's the 21st. So it's like this, 100%. Is it the 21st or 22nd? I think it's the 22nd or the 21st. But the point is, one of these factions is going to be disbanded sooner or later. I think it might happen in Bound for Glory, but that's just me. And now, let's go through all the stuff in the back. Let's talk about inspiration and fatal influence found in Henley and Jasmine Nix. Seeing they're going to have a match, I believe it's next week on Impact TV, not on NXT TV, is fine. Now, most people will say, uh-oh, look what they just did. They did the inspiration pose. Well, I'll say this. Compared to 3 years ago when they were doing inspiration all the time, once in a while is fine. If they're only doing it once in a while, I have no problem with it. For the most part, Cass and Jess, literally, they have not done the same stick. Now, does it feel a little bit similar? Yeah. But at least they're not doing the inspiration. Ow. Oh, that hurt. That little bit hurt. They're not doing the inspiration position. They're not following the same mode as they did before. But I'm not going to tell you that Jess isn't kind of an awkward person when she talks. Because, let's make it very clear, Cass and Jess. Cass, who is Sean Spears' wife, she is more elegant than Jess, who is a classy woman, but just feels awkward. She's that type of woman. No, Cass, she's the type of woman that you know can be as sexy as fuck, and you just want to screw her brains out and have her as your wife. That's Cass. Jess is also sexy, but she's just so awkward. And she's the type of person you just want to marry because she's awkward. And then screw her brains out afterward because she's so cute and awkward. That's the way she feels. That's how it looks. And having them both as inspiration, it's like you got a sexy woman who's not awkward with another woman who just looks awkward. And they're both sexy. And it's obvious what they are. So I'm at least saying that they're not doing the same full stick. But at least if they are throwing a little bit of the old iconics in, it's not heavy like it was 3 years ago. Because it was. For 6 months, that's what we got. We got the iconics. That was on Impact TV. And that was bullshit. They promised they would do something different. They did not do it. At least here, at least it's a bit different. I will give it to them that. Next, Santana and the Tricky Williams. Do I believe Santana talked well? Yes, he did. I liked how Santana talked when he was in Baltimore. No problem. Trick was fine. He did what he had to do. Talking about having his title upside down on purpose. And everybody keep telling him his titles upside down and saying, shut the fuck up. That's what he was trying to say. But once they both were together, and you see Santana making it very clear, I want another title shot. I deserve another title shot. And Trick made it very clear, said, I'm trying to not to make you look good. Well, technically, that's what he's thinking. Outwardly, he's saying, I'm trying to be kind to you. I'm trying to help you. And so, that match you want? No. But then Santino came out and said, I'm going to give you that match because you earned it. That's Santana. But he made a very clear, Trick Williams. He said, no. Did you not talk with my lawyers? It's every 50 days that I defend my damn title. You forgot that? And once Santana came over to the ring, Trick jumps out of the ring. They play a little bit. they go into the back. Of course, eventually you got AJ Francis who's there. They meet up, and a Santino made it very clear. Okay, you can only defend it every 50 days. I'm gonna have to check and see with my own loyals, but does not mean just because you can't defend it, you can't wrestle. So next week it's gonna be First Class with Trick. Well, basically AJ Francis him versus a Santana and someone I will pick, which we now know is Steve Macklin. Fine. The question is going to be how Steve and him are going to interact. My guess is because Steve is now a face, they're not going to be like button heads too much, but they're going to have their own history, which they're going to say something before they have their match next week. That's how it's going to be. Now, let me tell you this. With all that done, this was a good show. Was it perfect? No. But at least it gave us something. We got Luna snapping. Maybe that's the name of the title. Luna snaps. Because I'm telling you right now, I'm curious to see how they're going to make Dani Luna mean something. Because like I said, she's a Jordynne Grace mold right there. She reminds me of Jordynne Grace. She acts like Jordynne Grace when she was still like, I mean, Jordynne was like big and thick and she just looked good. Now, she's not ugly now. It's just that it's obvious she decided to get rid of the voluptuousness to become more chiseled like a bodybuilder. That's how she is. But that's what Dani Luna is right now. And they need to break that mold for her. But this is just me. I hope you enjoy this. Impact. Give me a comment below. Peace.